like to rub in how much I get some of these cars for, but I only say it because I want to encourage people to get off eBay. So like, let's see. So this is a silver Audio 6, right?
Yeah.
Guess how much I got this for?
$5.
25 cents.
What? That's not
25 cents. It was in a bin. It was in a bin of cars for 25 cents. 25 cents.
Hello and welcome to the Squared Corner Podcast. I'm your host, JayCee Squared, and I'll be interviewing guests from the Hot Wheels community and beyond. Today's guest I have with me is Nice Shot Slingshot, Kurt847. Welcome in. How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, JayCee?
I'm doing good, man. I've been doing some December cleaning in my room. It has been a nightmare. My goodness.
Yeah, I feel that. I was actually pulling cars out so I can show off for the stream. But yeah, thanks for having me on here, dude. Like, I know I've been bugging you about getting on here, but you know, ever since you announced that you're doing a podcast, I was like, oh, dude, I got to get on because like no one else does Hot Wheels stuff, and you know, this is something I care about. So it's like, yes, I would like to be a part of it. So
yeah.
So thanks for having me on, man.
I'm always no problem, man. I like shouting out community members that are hungry for it a little bit. Not in the okay, for future people, do not start harassing me to be on the podcast, all right? Don't do it. I
didn't harass nobody, all right? As what's that Fast and Furious quote? I didn't narc on nobody.
Oh.
You know.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so first off, I have to say your hat is amazing. I love this hat.
Thank you.
I think you wore it when we were in El Segundo, and I will get to El Segundo in just 1 second, but I have to talk about the hat. Where'd you get the hat?
So that's a pretty quick story. There's a mall that I've been going to for years. It's like my childhood mall. And around the same time that I was going there as a kid, I was watching Acceleracers and stuff. But fast forward to present day, these last few years, a guy opened up a shop. And every Saturday, a bunch of collectors come and sell their Hot Wheels. And there was a guy that had just a stack of hats. And I was like, oh, cool, hats. So I'm looking through, and this was like the fourth hat on there and the only one. So I was like, heck yeah. It was $5. So I was like, what? Yay. Yeah. So
can I get a $5 hat, Hot Wheels? I need one of these. These are fire, honestly. That's a fire hat.
This one's very old. So it's a
collector's
club
it's
one.
Beautiful. Like I said, I love it so much. Okay, but let's move on because I know you were wearing that hat. I think, right? Am I right in saying
yes?
This?
Yeah,
at El Segundo, California.
Reese told me to take it with me because it's like my iconic hat. So he's like, make sure you bring your hat. I'm like, I'm gonna bring it. You think I'm not gonna bring it? You know? So
bring it. No, so I gotta say, I didn't know who you were. Just straight up, I didn't know who you were. But we met at Hot Wheels Legend Store in El Segundo, California. And I'm curious, how did you hear about the event or even want to go? Was it Reese that told you to go, or what? How did that happen?
I don't remember if it was Reese exactly, but I know that I was talking to some peeps on Unleashed, and it was all kind of just word of mouth, really. But eventually, I was being asked, like, "Hey, you gonna go? And this was like way months before. But then Reese is like, "Okay, JayCee just told us some good stuff. Like, we definitely gotta go." I'm like, "Okay, I'm going." So, you know, and I mean, you know, I've been watching your channel and everybody else's for a while. So it's like, well, yeah, of course I want to meet all the guys I watch. And it's so funny too. Cause like, you know, even before I met you guys, you've all stumbled across my channel randomly. Like I have all my comments and everything.
I probably have.
I know you have. Like you left like a big thing about like the drones, like whole dilemma and everything. I made a video talking about how the Acceleracers plot is kind of broken in the sense that like if the drones win, the Accelerons would just be like, no, get out of here. We don't want you here. Leave. You're evil, you know? So it's like, it's kind of broken. Even if they get to the end, the Accelerons are just going to throw them off the bridge. So it's a funny joke video. And funny enough, Spoilers saw that video, and I made that video because of his Acceleracers doesn't make any sense. So it's all kind of like a big giant circle.
Yeah. Wisdom.
Wisdom,
Circle.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
a circle, Dr. Tesla. It's a
Yeah.
circle. So I gotta say, so your relationship with Accelereece, sorry. How did you guys meet? What did y'all meet on?
So I was playing Unleashed one day, and like I was looking through liveries, and there was an S2K Honda S2000. And it was a Teku livery, and I saw the artist for it was Accelereece, and I'm like, is that who I really think it is? Because I watched
Mm,
all of Reese's YTPs, and I thought they were super funny and stuff. So I'm like, oh, no way. So I
yeah,
messaged
those are
him, sure
classic.
if it was Reese. So we became like good friends instantly, and we've been trading cars and stuff like that. I just sent him what are they called? The trailer cars, the actually, I can show it off right here. I sent him this recently. It's a Barracuda.
The transports, the transports.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, those are
Yeah.
nice. Those are nice. Is
Yeah.
that
He's like,
the
man,
Is that the not
this is the
Mustang? Oh
Barracuda.
no, someone's gonna hurt me.
It's a
The
Barracuda.
Barracuda.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know someone's
Yeah.
gonna be like, JayCee,
no,
why
it's
don't you
okay.
know your
JC, I'll
stuff? I'm gonna be
protect you.
like,
I'm the car guy. It's okay. I'll protect you. I'll be like, leave him alone. I know all the cars. So
I'm
yeah, I
sorry, I'm
sent this one
sorry.
to in card for Reese because he wanted it. So because he's like, man, I wanted that
Oh, that's
Barracuda. I'm like,
cool.
I got it. So I'll give you
Yeah,
one.
that's a cool one. The one I think the ones that I really want that I'm missing is the snake and mongoose transports. Those are cool. Those are so cool. And like I actually probably would get rid of the rest of my transports other than the Legends Tour one cuz I don't really care about them nearly as much anymore. But those two would be sweet. Um but anyway, Hot Wheels Unleashed, right? We were talking about
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard because I think you brought a book at one point that you make a
Yeah.
ton of tracks in the game, and you've been making tracks in different games as well. But apparently, you got
Yeah.
pretty famous in the PlayStation community for tracks in How Was Unleashed. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my big break. Really, I've been making tracks for a very long time. So I was just kind of bored, and I was like, I should just start making Acceleracer tracks. Like, I'm not that great at the game yet, but I'm familiar with the
Mm-hmm.
controls. I'll just get better as I go along doing it. So I made my original Storm Realm because I made like 3 versions. We don't talk about the second one, but the official second version that's good. That one's really great. That one's like 100% accurate, like the shape and everything. But the first one I did was like everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, this is cool!" And I uploaded it to YouTube, and it got a bunch of views. And then Cobalt Sanderson saw it. He did a video about it, and
Mm. Yeah, that's
so
right.
um, the only gripe though is like a lot of people were kind of just like super nitpicky about it, like, oh, it's not adapted to Unleashed. It's like I made it because it's an art piece. I could always
Yeah,
recreate
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah. I
later.
see what you mean.
It's like it's not like I can't adapt it at any point in time. But a lot of people were harassing me about it.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, fine. It's not hard enough. I'll make it really hard. And then Colt's like, there's no walls. So, but I'm like, well, can't please everybody.
There's no track.
There's no track. There has to be a track. um,
Oh, that's great.
but yeah, I just started making tracks in Unleashed, and I just kept producing realm after realm after realm after realm, and some of them really picked up, and it was just fun to do. I had to slow down though, because like I was like, dude, this is too much. If I keep making these are going to be
Yeah.
kind of like over flooded, and I know some track builders that have like 400 tracks, and I'm like, man, you
What?
gotta slow
Oh
down at
my
some point.
lord.
Yeah,
Wha-
Kiko, there's a guy named Kiko who makes a
Wow.
lot of really crazy tracks where you really have to like fly through the air and navigate and stuff. And he has like
Mm,
3 separate accounts because he's already filled up like his track
what?
limits. It's crazy.
Holy moly.
Um,
Wait, does
I
that
know.
mean he had to buy the game 3 different
Mm-mm.
times?
No,
Like,
on the
he
PlayStation,
just.
you can link your account to
Okay.
or do something with the
Okay.
system to where
I
it
was like,
shares.
yeah, that was like, what?
Yeah, I know.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, but yeah, I think I only made like a total of a teen amount of number of realms, not like anything like, oh, I
Mm.
made like 30 realms. I have my own like
Yeah.
creations that aren't based off of accelerators and stuff, but But yeah, I mean, I just got really popular and Unleashed. People really liked my stuff and was messaging me, and they're like, "Dude, this is so cool! Like, thanks for making this." And Reese was sending me screenshots from Facebook of people asking if I was on Facebook and Hot Wheels communities and stuff because people were like trying
Oh
to talk to
wow,
me. It was
that's
nuts.
cool.
So it was like this big like flash of like, wow, I'm famous. So it was funny. I've never heard a grown man and his wife scream my gamer tag in a party before. It was very bizarre. Yeah, I was like, oh,
Oh,
thanks,
that's
guy.
funny.
Like, they were like, oh my gosh, you're that guy that makes all the tracks. And I'm like, thanks. So, it was crazy. But, I just do it because I don't know, something about it. And I'm very passionate about the, the
hmm
essence of driving. And so, I just like building tracks because it's fun to just feel the car drive on it. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
No,
but
I
yeah.
think it makes sense, and I can relate because when I got distance, the when Opus had one of his map making like tournament things, I don't remember what it was, but I just wanted to play Stunt Track Challenge so bad, so I
Mm-hmm.
made one of the Buccaneer Bay tracks. I think it was White Skull Cliffs in
Okay.
distance. And so I made it how White Skull Cliffs would play in Stunt Track Challenge. So all the distance community got pissed because they're like, "You, you're supposed to just boost infinitely." I'm like, "Oh well, I didn't want that though. That's why
Right?
there's like boosts around the place because I wanted it to play like Stunt Track Challenge, but with my friends
Exactly.
online." But that was
Yeah.
just like a funny little one, and I had a good time with that one. And Opus helped a lot because he did like the lap system and all that. And most people I think now don't really care. Back when I first did it, I had like it was like a 2-star map, and now it's like a 4-star map. Don't understand why, but it's just over time people just don't care, I guess, and they just were like, it's just cool. Someone
Yeah.
did this.
I
So
gotta I have distance, but I haven't ever tried the track builder on it. And of course, I mean,
it's
I just bought a $1,200 PC, so maybe I'll get to checking
ooh,
out. I loaded it up one
it's a
time and
sinkhole. It is a sinkhole, let me tell you.
I used to I was introduced to this weird computer program when I was in like second grade. I think it's called 3D something. I can't Don't quote me on it, but basically you could build. It was really used to build like cities and environments and like house interiors and
Yeah.
stuff. It was like super simplistic and stuff, but it was really cool, and that's what Distance reminds me of. It has that kind of structural setup. When I saw
Mhm.
the trailers for Unleashed, when they revealed the track builder, I was like, that's the same track building system that they use for Throwville. I don't know if you ever played Throwville.
I did.
Um,
I did play
okay,
Throwville. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like it's very similar. So like there's to me from the stuff I've experimented with different racing games is like you have very static, stiff kind of building. So that's like
Mhm.
Unleashed and Throwville, and then you have more of a open map but a prop system. So you just place props
Mhm.
everywhere, and then you just drive over the stuff. Forza's system is
Yeah.
a prop system. Uh, I haven't actually tried Forza's system, but yeah, the games. Just
Yeah.
a quick breakdown of the games that I've played that have track builders. Was Tonka Raceway. Um, that was a really cool game. That game,
I've never heard of that.
yeah, it's a really old like little kid computer game, but it has more content in it than Gran Turismo 7. It's hilarious,
That's
but it had a
crazy.
track builder in it, and it was super neat. And then like Stuntman Ignition, Thrillville, ATV Off Road Fury 4, and the other games.
Never
Those
remember
were just
that
like
one.
check mark makers. The fourth game
Oh,
actually
Micro
introduced the.
Machines. Have you ever played Micro Machines V3?
I don't think I played that one.
Dude, that
Uh,
was good. Like I love that track builder because like they would give you like different elements to play around with. It's a top down. I don't know if you've ever played Micro Machines before.
I don't think so.
You play
I
Micro
don't like.
Machines? Okay.
I don't really like the top down games that much because
Yeah, yeah.
it's kind of confusing.
No, it's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Continue with what you were saying because
Oh
I did
yeah.
interrupt you.
No, you're good. So let's see. Like I started once I got like an Xbox 360 in seventh grade, and I found out about Forge mode. I started making tracks in like Halo 3 and Halo Reach, and that's where I really started to get bigger. And then jumped to the PS3, and it's actually pretty interesting. So on the PS3, or Modnation Racers, that was actually
Yeah, I
a very
remember that
popular
game.
game.
Yeah.
I built a lot of tracks in that game, and that's where things started
Mm.
to get even bigger. Um, but yeah, that's actually where I met the first like ever Acceleracers community, was on Modnation, and that was back in
Wow.
2013. So 2012,
That's
2013.
old.
Yeah,
Oh man.
my best friend Eric, he's up in Canada. We met and then we were talking, and I was like, "Hey, do you know what Acceleracers is?" And he gets really quiet, and he's like, "Did you just say Acceleracers?" I'm like, "Uh-huh."
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
"Dude, I don't know anybody that knows Acceleracers." I'm like, "Me neither." And so that was like a big moment. But yeah, Eric's a good guy. Been friends with him forever. But
Mhm.
yeah, we had our own little, Accelerators community. We made like mod like characters and Accelerator cars and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um and then, I just built a lot of tracks. And then I think back in 2018 I met a YouTuber named PeachTube, and he's like, he makes all of the Accelerators content for GTA Online. So
Okay.
I was like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, "Hey, come race with us." So, we became friends instantly, and I started making a bunch of tracks, and he got super popular like once we got like a huge group and stuff. But he's in the Air Force now, so he doesn't have a lot of time to really
Hey,
do
he's
stuff.
doing
But
something better anyway, probably in
yeah,
terms of
hmm
in
yeah.
terms of
So,
morality.
but yeah, I'd
Serving
say
your
like,
country.
yeah, but yeah, I'd say in the perspective of like different areas, he's kind of taken over the GTA Accelerators community in that aspect, because
Mm,
no one else does it but him. Like, I'll
right.
look up some stuff, but he's on top. Like, he's got the most videos and everything, and I've
Yeah.
been in those videos, so it's cool. But after that, yeah, it was just Unleashed, and then that's been about it for the history of me finding Accelerators communities and stuff
Mm,
like that, and track building. But yeah,
okay.
so
So did you ever like find the Reddit or anything? Because like for me, I've said this before, is I found the Reddit and it was because of Vulcan, because of the Roblox community. Did you ever like find that uh into the Reddit or whatever, into the Discord and stuff?
I was like very sheltered as a kid, so like I didn't get to go on the internet a lot and the computer. I actually had a funny story about how I started or finished all of Acceleracers, because um I had missed a lot. But like, really, the first community I ever found on the internet was in Modnation. That was the first time I met
Mm,
anybody that knew Accelerators.
yeah.
All that time before, I didn't know anybody else. It was just me. Um, but yeah, so that was a big moment. So really, just
Mm.
Modnation. And I mean, I'm new to Discord. Like, my thing says I've been on Discord for like
Oh.
2017, but I don't use it. Like, I just started using it
Mm,
because like I haven't had a computer to really use it, And now that
yeah.
I have a computer, it's like, oh, I have an actual use for it,
Yeah.
and the user face was a little weird. So,
You
but
you got a better computer than me, guy. Like what the heck?
yeah, coworker was selling it, and I'm like, well, I want a computer, so
That's nice.
um,
Hey,
yeah,
that's
twelve
nice. That's
hundred
the best way,
dollars.
honestly. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice though. Okay, so I wanted to talk about what we were talking about. GTA. Talked about GTA and PeachTube. Because I hadn't heard of PeachTube. I've seen GTA mods like the Water Realm, especially. I think that's one of the biggest viewed ones. Was that him or was that someone else?
so that was him probably. See, there's a guy that makes tracks that I found originally, and then I found Peach. Peach doesn't build tracks; he just
Oh,
races
okay.
on them. Um,
Ah, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha,
but
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
yeah, I actually started building tracks because I found I swear it's like XX Nolo or something, was a GTA player. I think they were on Xbox. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, there's like different people that have made different realms and stuff, but a lot of
okay.
them are. And I don't want to sound mean. A lot of them aren't that good. Some of them are
Hey, that's
built
just
kind of.
you get a lot of people trying to build whatever. Roblox
Yeah,
is the same way.
Yeah, so like you know, we'll race on some tracks that are really bad, and we'll be getting really
Mm-hmm.
frustrated, and it kind of just, you know, goes with the moment of just like funny moments. You know, people like to watch people get
Yeah.
mad at games, so you know, it's just that sort of thing. So it's like not a big deal, but you know, I
Mm-hmm.
always try to build my tracks to where they're fun and enjoyable to race on without any like, oh, I just hit a jump and I jumped over the corner that's like right after the jump. Why is that there? You know, like there's
Yeah.
moments like that where tracks just don't work that well. So I try to build them to where they work. You know, that's a big thing. You know, uh, and I think that's what made me popular too. Is like it was a lot of people have told me like, dude, your tracks are smooth. Like there's no
Mm-hmm.
crazy anything where you're just like it's not your fault. It's like the track is messed up in a way that it's like, how am I supposed to drive through this? You know?
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I've run into a
but
couple
yeah.
of those in the Cobalt World Race. And Cobalt, you know what you did to me. You know what you did to me in that surprise one, okay? That mystery track. That was no fun, man. That was no
Oh.
fun.
Yeah, I saw one of the
But
tracks. Was it the drones realm that had like a massive loop without any boosts?
let's not talk about that. All right, and then
I saw that.
let's
I'm
talk
like,
about the
that's
collecting.
painful.
Let's
Okay.
talk about collecting because that is super painful. How honestly, we could go into the pain of Hot Wheels Unleashed, but we're not gonna do that
Yeah,
because
no,
I
let's
think
let's
I've already talked about it before.
let's Nitrox 2 into next segment. How about that?
That's right. That's right. All right. So let's go into your collection history. Obviously, I'm sure you have multiples. I know you actually even had a slingshot you gave to one of the Tesla Cube members when we were out there at Legends Tour.
Yeah,
How
I
many of
gave
these things do you have that you're able to just give one away?
I so um I don't remember when I bought. So I bought three slingshots at one time back before COVID. This was like 2017. And so I bought one loose and it was kind of banged up. That one actually came with a switchback, so I have a switchback because of that. The guy threw it in. So I gave that one to Tyler. It's not like in horrible condition, but I used it for
Mm,
tracks and things like that. It had a little bit of like a bent wheel, but it wasn't anything bad. But
I don't
Tyler
think
really
really.
wanted it,
I wouldn't care. Shoot, it's free Hot Wheels World
right?
Race Car. It's free Hot Wheels World Race Car. Am I right?
Yeah, I know. Like in the video, it looks like I'm kind of hesitating. I just like because he was asking me like how much you want for it, and I'm like, um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good with that kind of stuff. So I'm like, look, I'll just give it to you if you want it that bad. You know, like I don't know. I just feel like that's a
Wow,
kinder gesture. So, you know, I'm like, here, you just have it. You know, but yeah, here's
that's
my
very
other
cool.
one. So I bought
This is
two loose. This is my loose that I
ah.
opened, and then I have another one that's in package. And this is a fun little piece of Reese. This was Reese's golden slingshot that I
Oh,
that he had.
that's nice.
I traded him this one for a better one because I ended up getting two gold slingshots in a VHS pack with
Oh, wow.
24/7.
Oh.
So yeah. So I was like, he's like, dude, could I get that like one of your gold slingshots? I'm like, he's like, I'll pay you a good price for it. I'm like, can we just trade? He's like,
Yeah,
yeah. So I got his, so that's cool.
great.
But yeah,
That's
I
really
have one
fun.
in package still. But yeah, I got all my World Race and Acceleracers cars that are loose right here if we want to talk about them. But I have every gold variation car, so I have the golden
The
ballistic
Roadrunner and the oh
and
yeah, those are nice.
then the golden
And
Roadrunner
then
here.
I think if I'm not mistaken, the gold ones were all 2 packs, right? Like they
Yes.
all came in those 2 packs. Ugh,
Yeah.
that's so annoying.
Yeah. So
It's like,
funny
come on.
story. The ballistic I got was in a $5 premium box at this store. Um,
Wow.
yeah, these actually, I'm not going to show their name on screen because they don't deserve promotion. They look at eBay prices, those suckers. Yeah, I got the, you know, this for $5. Those
Yeah.
potatoes were being potatoes and put it in a bad spot. But I did buy a 24/7 from them, and if you look behind me, uh, one of those Ultimate 3 track packs. I got
Right.
that. So the one of those in the 24/7 for like $70, and I was like, ugh! And the
pretty good.
ballistic too. It was $5 though. But yeah, this Roadrunner I got from a guy recently. From a huge lot. So I got 2 VHS packs with the Gold Slingshot and 24/7.
Yeah.
So I had a total of 3 24/7s, but I just gave one to my best friend because that's his favorite car. Then I got a Spinebuster CM6 and I gave that to him. I think I have a total of like 5 Roadrunners. So
that's crazy. I've literally only got one. I've only got I've got one in the box and it stays in the box.
Yeah, I find them a lot. I got the Corvette.
The split window, yeah.
It's really crazy. I'll find like the harder to find cars pretty easily. Mm-hmm. So like I got the El Camino.
Oh yeah.
I got a loose muscle tone, and I have a muscle tone in a 2-pack with Vulture in it, with a VHS. Yeah, so I mean nice. I don't know how much that's actually supposed to be worth, but the guy that I bought it from, it was only $50. So I was like,
that's not bad,
dude.
Actually.
Yeah, steal. But yeah,
the real question is, do you have any Chrysler Thunderbolts or 59 Corvette Stingrays available? Those are the only 2 I'm missing.
I don't have either of those, sadly. So for the teams, I have not completed a team yet. I have so many cars, but I have not completed a team. I'm missing
you haven't completed a team?
No, I'm missing the IROC. I'm missing the IROC for Street Breed, and I'm missing Side Draft.
Dude, IROC is so easy.
I know, I can't find it anywhere. I've found 2 Pontiac Rage. I don't know how to say Rages, plural.
Pontiac Rages, yeah.
Yeah, but if you say plural, because I have 2 of them. So one's actually factory defected because it's crushed in the package. So I have a factory defective power Pontiac Rages, which is cool. So for Road Beast, I'm missing Motocrossed and Power Rocket.
Motocross? No one likes that thing. It's
I know.
Easy to find,
I
would think.
I can't find it.
Motocross. You know, it's funny. I had motocross as a kid, so like I didn't have to look for it. That's one of the ones I had as a kid. I only had like 3. I had Crazy 8s, Motocross, and I think no, that was it. I had 2.
Oh wow. So for the Dune Rats, I only have. I think the Dune Rats is the least I have next to the Wave Rippers. Wow. So Dune Rats, I only have the Toyota RSC, the F1.
It's a good one.
The Ford, and the I think
the El Camino, right?
Oh yes, the El Camino. Thank you. Yeah, that's it.
Camino.
And then let's see, Scorchers. The only cars I'm missing is Red Baron and the Charger. And then for the Wave Rippers,
that Charger is pretty hard to find.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So for Wave Rippers, I need a lot of cars, but I think I have 2 Nomads in package. I have the Dior 2,
totally
Dior 2
signed with those.
Mm-hmm.
The Dior 2 signed by
you.
Oh, by me.
Yeah,
I signed that one. I forgot about that.
That's on my wall. You can't see it. But let's see. And then I have Switchback, and then that's it. Yeah, I don't think I have Backdraft.
That's pretty decent.
Backdraft. Backdraft is my favorite.
Backdraft's another hard one. It's another hard one though. It's funny that I think the most expensive team for sure is Wave Rippers out of all of them. Chrysler Thunderbolt and 59. Yeah. Those 2 I just looked up recently are like $100 each. I was like, Lord, why?
I hate to rub in how much I get some of these cars for, but I only say it because I want to encourage people to get off eBay. So like, let's see what. So this is a silver Audio 6, right?
Yeah.
Guess how much I got this for?
$5.
25 cents.
What? That's not
25 cents. It was in a bin. It was in a bin of cars for 25 cents.
That's
25
insane.
Cents. Guess how much this was?
Fair. All right, I'm gonna go 50 cents now.
$1. Close.
Okay. I'm getting on to your tricks here.
But yeah. So like, I'll put. Okay, so I can't show every car I got on screen, but the lot that I bought, I made a whole YouTube video about it. Everything that I bought was $160.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy,
everything that I got,
though.
and that was with
What?
It was so funny too because the guy brought this muscle tone. He's like, I love this car, and he pulls it out of his pocket. He's like, do you want it? I'm like, yes, I want it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I got the muscle tone from him. I got the C3. That's the Corvette. Or no, it's a C2. Well, split window. And then I got the Golden Roadrunner. I got so many cars from him.
That's so crazy.
But yeah, I got a Riveted that I actually saved the life of because the guy at my store I buy from is cuckoo, so he was gonna drill this poor thing. So I saved its life. So
why was he gonna drill it?
Because he likes the CM5s and the CM6s.
Well, I mean, come on, I can't blame him.
Actually, the guy that I got the huge lot from was actually drilling cars too, so I just saved a bunch of cars' lives.
Well, what's funny is now you can tell them that there are customs out there that make those wheels for you, and they can just buy the wheels without having the drill stuff.
Yeah, that's actually, I was about to, thank goodness you mentioned that, because there's a guy named Mike that I buy from, and he has a guy that 3D prints wheels, and I was on his Instagram one day, and I'm like, dude, I don't know if you're making these wheels or not, but can you make CM6s? And the next day I saw him or something, he had CM6 wheels 3D printed. And I'm like, did you make him because I mentioned the comment? He's like, yeah, you know what's actually funny is I was talking to my guy and we were talking about CM6s, and then I was like, nah, forget it. But then I saw your comment, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, I definitely need to make CM6 wheels. So yeah, these are, you can't see it because my camera sucks, but these are 3D printed CM6 wheels with real riders.
Wow.
I posted,
is that the guy that does it online? I've seen his stuff with the Diora 2 and a couple of other customs.
I can't remember
his CM6. Maybe.
No, this guy, he just sells cars. He doesn't do customs. He just sells stuff.
Yeah. Right. I can't remember his name. He's in the Mattel server. Let me see if I can't find him. But you could keep talking about your guy.
Yeah, so his name's Mike. I mean, I know him in person because he's...
Okay.
So it was at my mall. Yeah, so this is a guy I know in person.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's cool. But yeah, I got a lot of cars here. So like, I got my childhood baseline, got my childhood Nitrium.
I feel like everyone had a childhood baseline. I don't think anyone didn't have a childhood baseline.
Yeah.
If you're in the community and you didn't have a childhood baseline, I want you to comment down below, because if you didn't, I feel bad for you. Just generally.
Yeah, baseline's really common. I used to think it was rare, but
it's the most common section.
Yeah,
in the world.
I got a RDO1 from my childhood.
Makes sense.
RDO 5, or a silver RDO 3. I know these are the common ones. But yeah, let's see what else. Yeah, high voltage. This one I've gotten a lot. But yeah, I got like a carbide. I got an iridium. I got the high voltage. My whole video's on YouTube. I can't remember every car.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But yeah, oh yeah, I got this battle spec with a busted spoiler on it. So now it just looks like a mono. It just looks like a mono posto now.
Yeah, that's just sort of what happens to those guys. But like my crazy 8s that I had, totally broken now.
I don't have crazy 8s.
The spoiler is like so fragile. So if you have one, just be careful with it, because otherwise the thing is just gonna be. Okay, I can't find the guy's name, but either way. Point was, there's another guy that sells online, I think, some CM6 real riders that people have used for customs at conventions, for Hot Wheels collector conventions. So I just found that cool.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, actually, out of all the team leaders, I don't have Kadeem, which really stinks.
That's crazy. Well, Kadeem's a little harder, I think, because crazy 8s, like I said, the spoiler issue is a big one. So,
yeah, I always find them with broken spoilers. Yeah. So, which is funny because like
mine on the playground slide.
Oh, every crazy 8s that I own, I've never broken a spoiler on them. So, but every time I see Dune Rat's crazy. It's the spoiler's gone, so it's like, why?
I think it was more fragile. I'm not sure why, but I think it was. Maybe it was the orange. I'm not
That's what
sure.
I was gonna say. It was probably due to the fact that like it was a certain production of the
Yeah, you
color
know,
that,
it's like the lime green joints of a Bionicle.
yeah. Uh-huh. Speaking of Bionicle.
Speaking of Bionicle, let's get into some Bionicle. Ah, let's go, Liwa.
Yeah.
Love it. I actually have him over there. I do have him. I have him and Tahu and Gali of
Nice.
the Toa Nuva. Those are the only Toa Nuva I have, though.
Yeah, so this was actually the first Bionicle I ever got as a kid. This isn't the one from my childhood though. I lost him, but I
Dude,
rebought
that's the
this one
same though.
recently. Yeah.
That's the same.
Um it's the same guy. So I watched Bionicle at the same time I was watching World Race, so I was like,
Yeah.
awesome. And I don't know. I like I like robots, and it was,
Yeah.
I didn't know what the Bionicle were supposed to be. I thought they were just robots or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I liked this guy is because I love the color green, and as a kid, I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, the green guy is cool," so
Yeah.
I got him. But
It's fair.
yeah, I'm gonna start collecting them again. I only like the first and second like runs, uh,
Mm-hmm.
like the Metro Nui ones. I always thought was the second
Oh,
one.
I love
Um,
Metro Nui though. Oh
yeah,
man, those are so
some of them
sweet.
pretty good, but
Those
I
are
think
sweet.
after the third run, I just didn't really have that much interest in them because they started doing the underwater stuff, and those were
Okay,
really weird.
so here's a hot take. Everyone loves Hero and Ica. I didn't. I didn't like Hero and Ica. I'm sorry, internet. You're gonna hate me now. I'm sorry, but as a kid, I just did not like Hero and Ica. I love
Which
the
waves?
song. I love the marketing. I love the story, but I did not like the toys. I just didn't want them. Okay,
Were
I
those
was just like, I want more Metro Nui.
were those the ones that shoot the balls?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I think
Yeah.
that's like the fourth wave, right?
Yeah, that's the fourth wave because it was Yo
Okay,
Yo Paraka as well. The third wave was in the spider ones, and the spiders were cool, but I
I
didn't
thought
like
that
the
was.
Metro Nui like elongated head thing that they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
they
because
had
like
like mutant powers, mutated.
the way I remember it was like the third was Metro Nui, and they had the discs, and then it went to the green balls, and then it went to the
Yeah,
underwater thing, and they had like the weird torpedo guns, and then the bad guys had
those were
like
cool.
rubber fish things you could like
Squids.
slingshot. So the
Yeah, those were
squids,
cool.
yeah,
Those were
that
cool.
was weird. And then after that, I don't know.
That was weird. I'm like, I love underwater. The underwater stuff, that was good. When they went underwater, I loved it because of course the sacrifice and all that. I won't spoil too much if you haven't watched it. But like I love the was it Baraki? I think it's Baraki. The
I
fish
don't know.
guys. They're like they're like
Yeah,
angler like
yeah.
claw like
I had
mouths are
the
so cool.
I had the green guy with the two big guns, and then I had the
Oh,
black monster fish guy with the red eyes. I had that one.
dude, that's sweet.
Um,
That's sweet.
and then do you remember in Metro Nui the big spider guy? He had like a voice that sounded like this. He was in
Oh,
the
I
movie. He
probably
was
do.
green.
I probably do.
His
I probably do.
legs,
I just can't
his
remember at the
legs
moment.
were his legs were literally these swords. Like that's where his legs were. And then
Interesting. Okay, okay,
he
okay.
had them as like
If I
scissors
saw
for
it, I
hands.
bet I would remember. If I
It's
saw
in
it,
the
I bet I
second.
remember, but I
It's in
don't
the
remember.
second
It's
movie.
probably
If
a
you ever
second
watched
movie.
the
I'm
second
guessing.
movie,
Yeah, second movie.
yeah,
I'm guessing. I haven't seen it in a while, so
he was teamed up
uh,
with the really dumb guy. He's like, did they go that way?
typical, typical
Yeah,
kids movie.
but I had that bad guy from that run. I don't have him
Mm,
anymore, obviously.
yeah,
Speaking of stuff I don't have anymore, I used to have a sweeper. I don't have that anymore. I also don't
rats.
have my cards. I don't know what happened to those.
Well,
Um,
that sucks because I do happen to have my cards.
yeah, I saw that. I mean, I have a few cards, but they're just somewhere. Reese
Yeah,
gave
yeah,
me
yeah, yeah.
some. Reese gave me some European ones that have just the artwork instead of the card game
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So those are really cool.
Yeah, those are cool. Those are cool.
But yeah. On Acceleracers though, like when I first saw it, so I watched World Race. I would go to school and my mom would record it for me on VCR. So I had my own
Yeah.
VHS tapes of World Race. And then for Christmas,
There you go.
I begged and begged and begged my parents for the movie. And I opened up all my gifts and I was like, oh, I didn't get it. And I was upset. And like, I was at my grandparents' house and my grandpa's acting funny. And he's like, looking around, going outside, and then like he comes in and he's like, Santa Claus is outside. I'm like, what do you mean? What? And he's like, yeah, Santa Claus is outside. And the doorbell rings, and I open the door, and obviously Santa Claus isn't there, but on the ground is World Race on DVD, and that was like the greatest Christmas ever, you know?
That's
So that was
amazing.
great. So I watched, World Race religiously. But when Accelerators came out, I didn't know what Accelerators was until I saw Nitrium on the shelf, which is this one. And I made the connection that, and I didn't call World Race as a kid because I couldn't speak very well. I'm 6 years old, so I'm like, oh, Hot Wheels 35. So so that's what I called it. So I was like, oh, but I couldn't say Accelerators either. So I was like, oh, this must be the new Hot Wheels 35. So anyway, I'm at Costco with my dad. We're about to take a trip to California, and he's like, hey, you want to pick out a movie? Because I had this DVD player. It looked like a laptop, but it was a portable DVD
I know
player.
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know. I am not. I am
super,
in the same
yeah,
age range. Okay.
super
I know.
early 2000s stuff. So I'm at Costco
Yeah.
with my dad, and we're looking through a bin of movies, and I see the spine of a DVD that says Hot Wheels, and I'm like, oh, cool. So I fish it out, and it's Ignition, and so I watch it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, so exciting, and like I don't recognize the characters. Well, Vert I recognize, Kadeem I recognize.
Yeah.
I noticed
no
Banshee
one knows
isn't
who
there.
Taro was until he said his name.
Yeah, Taro was confusing for a while. Kurt I didn't recognize until I watched. So I watched the movie and then I watched it again because I loved it so much. So it's just, it's Nolo's call, who races. I'm like, oh, that's Kurt. He has the goggles. So I made the connection there. But yeah, like then later on I got Speed of Silence. And then shortly after that, my dad moves to California, takes my original Xbox, my DVDs, and my Riveted, and I think a bunch of my cards. So I never saw those again. Unfortunately, I broke the spoiler on that Riveted, but it's fine. Since I got this one, I got
break the spoiler. Wait. How did you break a spoiler on Riveted?
I don't know.
Like, I probably stepped on it. Very solid.
I've seen them broken. I don't know. I don't know. I broke it.
That's crazy. You must have
I never
crashed that thing.
I never saw those DVDs again. So what happened was for many years I was like, okay, so actually hold on. So near the end of the TV run of Acceleracers, I tuned into the last like 15 minutes of Ultimate Race, and I saw Drone Kadeem, and I was like terrified. And then after that, son, we need to talk. And then I was like, until 2009, I went into the computer room at my new house we just moved into, and I was like, Mom, I need cheat codes. She was at work, and she was very strict about me getting on the computer. So she's like, okay, just do that, and that's it. So I get on the computer, I'm on YouTube, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I wonder if Acceleracers is on here. So I find, I don't know what channel it was. It was either Shirako Takamoto or a channel with a DeLorean from Back to the Future on it. But, I find all of Acceleracers, and I watch...
1985 Out of Time. Yeah, that's
yes, yeah, I think that's them. Yep. But yeah, I watch all of Acceleracers, all the mini movies, everything, put everything together, and I'm just like, why did it end like that? And I'm like, where, and then when I got on Modnation, that's when I found out about the Edge and all this other stuff, and all this other crazy stuff. Yeah.
We don't talk about the Edge.
Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't know too much about it, so I was just like, all right, whatever. But it was even after Modnation, it was still very quiet until I met PeachTube, and that's when like things really reignited again, which is ironic because like that's 2018, and then at that time everybody else is reigniting back into the fan base. So I kind of got in my own area, but at the same time too. So we've all been on the same train, just in different dimensions, and then we've all collided into one. So it's kind of crazy. Small world, really.
No, it is definitely, especially with the whole what that reminds me of. I was thinking of the Battle Force 5 when the Old Smokey goes in and the
from that scene.
You know what I'm talking about, the little the little cameo where Old Smokey comes in. I was like, that's how it happened basically. Is it, what the heck, who are you, sort of thing.
Speaking of Battle Force 5, I know some people might hear what I'm about to say and be like, baloney. I didn't like Battle Force 5 because the art style and it was just too much like Power Rangers. And I know people have made that excuse before, but it's like, I want to see cars race. I don't want to see cars battling it out. And I don't care about a bunch of talking animals. You know, like, I don't care. I didn't get into Battle Force 5. It just wasn't my thing, you know? Like, I didn't
No,
hate it. It
I didn't
just,
get it into. I didn't get into it either, so I
yeah.
can't
And
really
like,
say anything. But I have heard that it got better, and that there are filler episodes that you should skip because they're pretty bad. So
yeah. No, like, I just like, as an Accelerators fan that doesn't like Battle Force 5, I know a lot of people are like, oh, he doesn't like it because it's not Accelerators. It's like, that's not the point. I love Hot Wheels regardless. I just didn't like the direction they went with the way the characters move and talk and act, and the story,
yeah.
and the villains and the plot, and it just wasn't something I was interested in. It just, I didn't like Power Rangers as a kid. So, I see Hot Wheels Power Rangers, and
What? You
yeah.
didn't like
So,
Power Rangers?
no, I wasn't a Power
Dude.
Rangers guy.
Alright,
I only
that's a hot take. That's
I
like that's hotter than any anime. That's hotter than anything is not liking Power Rangers. I think almost every kid has liked Power Rangers, and you're the
yeah,
one
not me.
exception. You're the 1 out of 1,000,000 kids that does not like Power Rangers. It's
Yeah, I
this
didn't
guy,
like it.
guys. It's this guy. It's
Yeah,
this
it's
guy.
me. Come and get me. So,
Dude, Dino Thunder was my classic. Love that.
I mean, I will admit, I did watch SPD, and it was like, when it was on and I had to watch it because there was nothing else on, I was like, okay, it's not too bad. But even then, it's like, I still didn't really. I think it's just something like, I love anime. Don't get me wrong, and I love
Yeah.
Japanese stuff. But like, something about their movements and how they're kind of like, whoa, whoa. It just, I didn't like it as a kid. It was just really weird, and it's just like, they get hit and there's sparks flying and they fly like 3,000 feet across. Yeah, it.
Whoa!
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, and I knew so many
Oh,
people that
it's
loved
so good
Power
though.
Rangers, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh
So,
well.
oh well.
Oh well.
So,
Well, speaking of anime, real fast, um, what anime? Because I know we had some trash taste talks about Initial D. I guess let's get it over with. I don't
so
like
yeah.
Initial D. What about you?
So here's the funny thing. This is gonna be a big twist for everybody. I love Initial D, but I think the plot is dumb.
That's pretty standard though. That's like
Yeah.
that's the normal take. I just
Well,
don't like it.
no.
Period.
There's some people that love every second of it. Like, they don't look at the flaws of the
Oh yeah,
writing.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Personally, I think it would be a better
So
show if it
bad.
didn't make Takumi win every race, because it's boring. And like, there's some interesting moments where it's like, oh, well, that's how he won. That's kind of interesting. But it's like, he wins
Yeah.
every race. His friends are jokes. All of his friends are jokes. They don't have any other aspect to them or anything. They're literally joke losers who can't get
Yeah.
girls, and they can't drive. And it's like, it's boring. It's like, I want to learn about the other characters and their other plots, and
Yeah.
it's like,
There's
they
only
get
one
written
character.
off.
It's Takumi, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's the same problem with Dragon Ball Z. You have so many characters, yet they're not utilized, and like, that's why I think a lot of modern Dragon Ball Z is boring, because it's like, oh, Goku has to come save the day, and
I never got into Dragon Ball as a kid. I was into Avatar: Last Airbender for a while, and I did watch a little Naruto and One Piece back when it was the 4Kids version, surprisingly. And that was about it. But I never really got into anime. In fact, I probably made fun of it even in middle school. I was like, "Oh, anime's stupid. I think isn't it just like Avatar: The Last Airbender?" And like people would be like, "No, Justin, you're just wrong." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 for sure." Because I would be like, I would be like messing. And then later on, I just watched I think One Punch Man, and I was like, "Oh, anime's pretty good."
Yeah, when it comes to anime, like, I didn't know what anime was until I was in 7th grade, and I met my best friend Michael, who introduced me to it completely. And I mean, I always liked Yu-Gi-Oh because I'm obsessed with Egyptian stuff, and I think Egypt stuff is
Mm,
super cool. So that's what got me into Yu-Gi-Oh. Was like, yeah, I didn't know anything about the characters or the monsters or the card game. I just thought the art style looked cool, and I just liked,
yeah,
the stuff about it. But
yeah, they're
yeah, as far
super
as,
popular. Yeah.
yeah, but it's like, as far as anime goes, like, I got super deep into anime when I was like a freshman in high school and throughout high school. As I've gotten older, it's like slowed down. Like, I went back to
Mm-hmm.
watch Initial D just because I'm a car guy, So, there's that, but that's about it. I mean, I just went to an anime. You saw my post. I just went to an anime
Yeah, yeah,
thing
yeah.
on Saturday. But yeah, like, um, I mean, I bought a bunch of anime stickers. Some of them they're on my computer, but I'm not going to talk about that because we're trying to keep this G. So,
Oh no! Oh no! It's got the
so
spicy galorum pictures. Oh no! That's
no,
what Chinny would say. That's what Chinny
no.
would say. So
Oh
what's funny
gosh.
is that like I find it interesting how anime has now taken over into the car culture scene enormously,
Yeah,
enormously. I mean, you see Atasha meets all the time now here in my city as well. It's crazy. They just had one yesterday. It was like 50 cars out there. I think that's crazy, and I also think that it's weird that Hot Wheels hasn't. It's weird that Hot Wheels did anime stuff back in like 2005 and 2006. I mean, they had Yu-Gi-Oh cars like with
yeah,
Natasha and everything,
yeah,
and they don't do it anymore. It's
yeah.
so boring. The only one they did recently was the
Mount
AE86, and
the
it
mountain
and,
drift
and it
things. I was actually gonna bring that up.
it looks so weird, and I got it anyway because yeah, I was gonna get it, but still, it's just like that. Really? Like I've seen y'all's work before on main lines, and this is a
Yeah,
premium.
yeah. I think that Itasha 86 is kind of funny looking. I look at it and I'm like, it kind of looks like a guy's face. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it's a girl or guy. I was actually gonna mention this. I thought it was kind of funny because I was gonna say, like,
Actually,
is
got it
Hot
right here.
Wheels. I was gonna say, is Hot Wheels
So
like,
weird.
do they know like what they're doing? Because this entire Drift Mountain thing doesn't make any sense because majority of the cars are all-wheel drive, so they're not gonna drift. Literally, the only cars that would drift out of these cars is the 86 and the NSX. The other cars are
That's so
all-wheel drive.
crazy.
If you take them on dirt, well, you're not going to take the Skyline on dirt. That thing's slammed. But like
Well, but the skyline's in initial D, so I mean, you can't really knock it
well, yeah,
as a
but
choice in the
the
mountain drift. But do you
the
mean the name Mountain Drifters is a little? It was more like just them trying to make an initial D type.
yeah, but I mean, this is the 3000 GT. This is an all-wheel drive car. This doesn't drift.
Yeah,
Like this is,
yeah,
you can't. It's very difficult to drift all-wheel drive cars. So like, I don't get me wrong. I love the selection, but it's
yeah.
just kind of silly. Like they're drift cars. Like just because it's from Japan doesn't mean every car can drift. Like you
Yeah, I
gotta.
find that interesting about Hot Wheels recently is that they've been doing a lot of series based off of the cars rather than liveries. Like if you look at
Yeah.
the 2000s, they used to do livery releases and then the cars just sort of fit in. Now it's like you have to have the car first and the livery comes second. And I'm sort of
Mm-hmm.
like a little annoyed by that because liveries on mainline have been pretty hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like it's a real hit or it's a real miss. Like there is
Yeah.
no in between with mainline anymore. Like Devancinator, still killing it. Like I don't know who keeps doing Devancinator's graphics, but still killing it there.
I like
But
that
then like
police one.
this one, like what is this? What is this? I just cannot get over it because you've seen it. The Ford
Yeah.
what is it? The Ford GT90 or something like that with the robot anime girl. It's insane looking in terms of
Oh,
art style,
yeah,
at
the
least.
Ford GT concept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that thing is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
People may
dude,
say it's a little spicy, like, but again,
it's
it's a
spicy.
Tasha. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
it's
barely
spicy.
spicy.
I
It's
don't know. It's
barely
pretty. It's
spicy.
pretty. It's pretty
It's
spicy.
barely spicy.
When
This is
when
freaking
when I
Hot
saw
Wheels,
it,
bro.
dude, I found that car in a loose bin of cars, and I'm like, oh, what's this? Whoa, that's spicy. I don't know the pose. That's just the pose. I'm just being silly. But anyway, yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with the art direction because it seems like they just want to do body line arts or
Right, right. Body
you
line
know,
art is good, but like they just can't do it on everything. Like
yeah,
it looks good, but like and I think you saw it in the NFTs too as well. And I
like
don't want to get too far into NFTs, but the car styles, the art style is what I'm thinking of.
yeah.
You're bringing up the drones. Like how
Yeah,
they
like
have it.
the drones have bodyline art, but
Right.
it fits.
Because they're
It
drones.
works. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But like I just saw a video today. Ironically, I have that twin mill behind me. I didn't grab it, but like the twin mill line art is just lines. It's nothing.
Oh, the
Yeah,
purple one?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
hate
yeah,
it. It's so
yeah.
ugly.
And
Oh, I hate it so much.
it's so silly because the twin mill is like such a big car that you can splat any big decal on there.
Right.
You got
Right.
plenty of room. I think
Yeah,
the
I mean, you just look at the Mobile One version. The Mobile One
hmm
version looks way better.
yeah,
Like in terms of just art direction, I don't know, and that's body line too. I just don't get. I
yeah,
don't know what keeps happening.
yeah. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I think that like there's I don't know. It's crazy. There's just so much variety with the older cars. I
Yeah.
actually I have this wheel swapped custom surf crate I did, but it's got like this cool pirate on it. Um, it's
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It's cool.
Um,
And
but
that goes back to what I said earlier, is that they had the series be the art direction for the
mhm,
series of main lines that year instead of the car selection be the
yeah,
series of main lines. And I think that speaks a lot. Like then and now is one of the most. I don't like then and now. I think it's dumb. Art cars as well. Art cars is one of the worst because they just slap the stupidest crap sometimes on those. Like
yeah,
and then sometimes it's good, like the sketch look, and then I'm just like, okay, just make the sketch look. Like, just do a
yeah,
line of sketch looks, all right? Those look sweet with the piranha and everything. Like, let's go. Let's get more of
yeah,
this. And you only get one. You only get one
yeah,
of those out of 10 art cards that are just random, like, whatever the designer decided to do that day. And it's just
yeah,
like, come on, guys. Be more focused. I need you to
yeah.
focus on, like, some stuff, please.
I've noticed that I've really liked the artwork done for the mystery cars. Like the mystery cars actually have some
Mystery
pretty
cars are
decent
pretty
stuff.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
mystery
just
cars are still pretty okay.
they have like a world travel series that I just found recently, and they had I think
Mm-hmm.
it's called what is it called? It's like Phantasm. It's a really
Phantasm. Phantasm.
yes, yeah. It's like covered in Egypt stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm a sucker for Egypt, so I'm like, oh, that's so
Mm-hmm.
cool. And then they had
Yeah.
a mono posto with like the British flag and stuff like that, so it was
Right,
like
right,
really
right,
neat.
right, right.
But yeah,
Yeah, and
no, like,
it is interesting because, like you said, it's they can do it. They just
mm-hmm,
don't do it, which is weird.
yeah,
Like it's definitely in budget. Like it's always been like I have this boombox on me. It's the graffiti from Stunt Track
yeah.
Challenge,
I
and
I
so
love
like
those.
this is
I
just
have
sweet.
I have the
It's like
super
come
tuned.
on.
I have the super tuned with the
Yeah, yeah,
green
yeah,
one, the
yeah,
green
yeah,
graffiti and the
yeah.
yellow. I have that one.
It's so
Um,
nice. And what's interesting is that, that whole Hot Wheels Unleashed thing, it comes back to that. Where Hot Wheels Unleashed had the whole livery design contest. And what
yep.
did they choose? Digicamo. How did you choose Digicamo out of everything you had to offer? The rules were still simple. Everyone followed the rules, and they, like, Das Mattel's looked 1,000 times better than
There's
Digicamo.
a
In fact,
there's a
the guy that won said, "Why did mine win?"
it was really funny. On PlayStation, there's I consider him like the best decal artist on PlayStation. His name's
Uh,
Lord Narcissus, but he recreates all the world race cars, and they're 100% accurate. Like there's
Dang.
nothing wrong. It's like
That's cool.
perfect. And he's like that car took him 5 minutes to make, and then he's also like the car that won also didn't follow the rules. It went over like the lines, so it's like
Yeah.
what I mean, I understand like everybody was doing a lot of stuff. Like I downloaded cars that I thought were cool, but every car that I downloaded were cars that would definitely be chosen because they didn't have any anime characters
Yeah.
on them that were literal. Like people did like
Yeah,
a
that's license,
yeah
yeah.
licensed stuff. There was like a Majin Buu one. I'm like, that's not gonna win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to show off and promote your art, which is probably why a lot of people were doing it. But it's like it's not gonna win. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know why they went with that. And then it's gold too. It's like,
It's so boring. I'm sorry. It's
yeah,
so boring.
it's too
Yeah, I don't
bland.
know why they did it. It's and it's crazy because the whole community was like, "Excuse me?" Like everyone was just like, "Huh? That
Yeah,
one?" Like cuz
yeah,
everyone saw for themselves what should have won, which is like all these amazing looking designs. And if you were to get the best out of Hot Wheels Unleashed and to advertise the game, why are you advertising it as just simple plain camouflage? Like, are you kidding me? Like, you couldn't do
Yeah.
camouflage yourselves, Hot Wheels? Like, do something that the community made that's insane, that's crazy, that's wild out there, you know? We
Yeah.
just can't be this wishy-washy, you know, look. I don't get it. And
Yeah.
I'm just getting too far into that. We got to move on. Goodness gracious. All right, let's end it off with oh, you know what? I'm gonna first. I actually did forget to do the speed round. I'm gonna write that down real fast. Speed round, fave character, car, and diecast. All right, so last before we go into the speed round, I want to talk about Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. You told me you know about this game.
Yes.
Because, which is crazy because like barely anyone knows about this game, but I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's an Australian outback adventure. It's like Crash Bandicoot, no, sorry, Banjo-Kazooie, and it's so fun. You get to throw boomerangs and stuff. How did you find it? I wonder.
So as a kid, like, you know, I played a lot of racing games, but like you know, I'm a kid, so I like cartoons and stuff. So like, you know, I grew up playing Croc, Spyro, Rayman, and I never actually played Crash Bandicoot, which is really funny. That's later. But anyway, like my mom I was at the store with my mom buying games, and I saw Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, and I thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
So I bought it, and I had a hard time playing it, but I never beat it. But I just, you know, I've been live streaming it on PS4, and I've been playing through it, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh,
it's
you got
really
the
cool.
HD collection then?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sweet. Yeah, I know.
I still have my
following them. I followed them since 2018, I think, when they started that, because I was like, I'm needing this. So I started to support the Kickstarter and everything. I think right now we're still waiting on some stuff from the second Kickstarter for number 2. They've been in like limbo. No, they've been in limbo with physical items that people bought. So like they bought the short, like I bought the tie shorts. Super cool stuff. Yeah, and tie figurines, like 3-inch figurines. So stuff that's like cool. That they were still trying to get out, and so I think that's why they haven't done either tie 3. I know this year they celebrated their 20th anniversary, and they are dabbling in Unity. So I think they're gonna make a 5th game soon. So I would say follow them on Kickstarter and stuff.
How many games were there? Were there 3 or 4?
There's 3 normal 3D platformers, and then the 4th one was a like 10th anniversary special, but it's a 2D side scroller.
Oh, okay.
And it was only released on the Microsoft Store originally, and then they just renamed it to Tie 4 because I mean there's some story stuff in it. I think honestly I didn't like the direction of it because they bring back what's her face, Fluffy. Fluffy comes back to life all of a sudden, so I don't know. Because it was supposed to be like a celebration game. It wasn't supposed to be a 4th game, but it just ended up being the 4th game. Huh. So, so Fluffy's like, oh, she's back, and now she's evil again. I was like, oh, okay. I'm not sure how that happened, but...
I never got too deep into the story, so, like, I never beat the first game. I had the second one, I never even beat that one either, but...
dude, you gotta beat it.
Yeah, this is the first time I really get to sit down and play the game and understand what's going on, because, like, I don't even think I beat the first like worlds as a kid. So like when I got to the first boss fight, I was like, "Oh, cool! I haven't seen this before." You know?
No, it's a good game. So I definitely would say check out the whole series. It's always really good fun. That's for the viewers as well. That's a good game. I actually recommended it to Chinny as well last podcast episode because he's Australian, and I was like, yeah, that's where I got my Australian quote unquote accents, is because I loved that game and I loved Australia, and then all of a sudden, you know, it just took from there. Like the dingoes and the Tasmanian.
Right, Ty.
G'day, Ty. How you been today? I know, and now all the Aussies are cringing. Okay, let's go into a speed round. Favorite character from the World Race Acceleracers?
Okay, so obviously it's Kurt Wilde, but I'm gonna give you my second favorite character, so that's Kadeem.
All right. Kadeem, all right, yeah. So Kurt Wilde then Kadeem, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's your favorite car in the movies? And then what would be... So let's just do favorite car in the movies.
So like Acceleracers and World Race?
Acceleracers and World Race. I'm sure you're going to say Slingshot, so what's after Slingshot?
Yeah, so Slingshot, you know, second favorite car would probably be Aeroflash.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for choice. Acceleracers, my all-time favorite car is probably jackhammer. So
it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's a
so
lot that
and
I
then
like, though.
lastly, what's your favorite diecast? Like Hot Wheels diecast car? Other than the ones other than movie ones. Like this could be any fantasy, anything.
So, I mean, Slingshot's my number one favorite, but my second favorite of all time is Surf Crate. So
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Now the Aussies are cringing again. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I have a lot of Surf Crates.
Play this game. It's so good. But yeah, Surf Crate's awesome. I love the Surfer ones. I'm so glad Dwayne Vance is bringing back the Surfer vibe with that new Cowabunga.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the surf cars have like a really cool aesthetic. I don't know. It's something about Surf Crate is more, I guess, down my alley because it's like I'm a big heavy metal guy.
And it's coming back.
So
you saw it's coming
I saw
back
that.
And Super Treasure Hunt too.
Reese just got it. Reese just got the Treasure Hunt.
That's crazy. That's amazing, actually.
And it's pink. It's pink, which is cool because
it's beautiful looking.
It's I'm a big vaporwave nerd, so like the color pink is nice. Is pretty cool on certain cars. So I'm like this neon sunset, so it works. So I'm like, oh sweet. So yeah.
No, that's pretty good. All right, and then I guess where can people find you on YouTube and stuff? Where can
just my YouTube, just Slingshot Kurt 847. My main Instagram is private, so you can go check out my alternate account where I post all my customs, and that's Nomad AZ Customs on my Instagram, and that's it. That's really all I have.
That's it. All right.
But yeah, my YouTube's my main thing, so go check that out.
Go check his YouTube out, please. And you can find me on every social media platform known to man: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Reddit, and just so many more. And just search for JayCee squared. That's JayCee squared, JayCee squared. And if you like this podcast, please give it a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And before we leave, a special thanks to members who pay and support me directly for this content. If you want to know more on YouTube, next to my subscribe button, you will see a join button. Click it, join the channel. I think it's $5 a month for the basic subscription. And you get exclusive benefits like episodes early and your name in the credits. Those names are Al Seg, Taro Katano 35, Accelereece, Lucas Gabriel de Lima Gonzalez, Ratchet RPG 01, Roto the Dragon Lord, and Citrus 3. Thank you all so much. And with that, any last words, Kurt?
So these two Ferraris are my oldest ones I've ever had. I've had these since I was like 1 year old. And then this is the rarest 2007 Mystery Models Bugatti that I got in fourth grade.
Hey, wow, so, that's cool.
Yeah, my teacher gave out prizes at the end of the week, and I got picked. And I knew she had Hot Wheels cars, so I grabbed this, not knowing what it was, opened it, and I was watching Race Grooves one day, and he's like, yeah, I'm trying to find the white and blue Bugatti from the 2007 Mysteries. Wow. And I'm like, that's what I have. So yeah, this car's worth like $100.
Wow, I know collectors are going to be interested in that. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me on here finally.
Yeah, no, for sure. And with that, peace out, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. G'day, mate. G'day. Have a
good one.
And the Aussies cringe as we end the episode. This has been the Squared Corner Podcast. Music composed by Steve Rocket. Video and audio recording by Riverside.fm. Video and audio editing by JayCee Squared. Logo art by Miguel Martinez. And lastly, supported by you, the viewer. Thank you.